Think about the last time you reacted to something out of proportion. A sudden flash of rage over a minor comment, a desperate urge to withdraw from a conversation, or the sheer exhaustion of trying to make a single project absolutely perfect. In the quiet aftermath of those intense moments, you have to ask yourself, who was actually in control? In the book The Root Within, authors Gregory D and Kenneth Johnson investigate these everyday reactions to find out what is really driving them. We routinely brush these behaviors off as personality quirks. We tell ourselves we are just passionate or independent or detail-oriented. But those traits are psychological survival strategies. They operate entirely in the unconscious, working as masks to hide a deep, unnameable wound of insecurity from the rest of the world. In psychology, these masks are known as ego defense mechanisms. Rather than clinical terms, think of them as the mind's desperate, automatic attempts to preserve your dignity and reduce your emotional pain. They are highly effective forms of camouflage. They successfully hide your deepest wounds from society, but they do absolutely nothing to heal the injury underneath. The psychological trap builds chronologically. First, you construct the fortress to protect yourself. Then, you settle into an illusion of safety. Eventually, the walls you built to keep pain out start to suffocate you. Until we learn to recognize these defense mechanisms in our daily routines, we remain prisoners in invisible cells of our own making. Consider a professional named David, who routinely buries himself under an avalanche of extreme labor. This is the defense mechanism of compensation. His colleagues celebrate his tireless dedication, but that drive is desperation. He is a slave to his insecurity, working endless hours because he is terrified of being seen as ordinary. Then there is Simone, who relies on relentless charm, humor, and likability. She is utilizing reaction formation to mask a profound internal emptiness. She learned early on that performing for others and being liked is a safer survival tactic than being genuine, leaving her feeling hollow even when surrounded by friends. Or look at Thomas, who dodges conflict, avoids risks, and delays decisions. He hides his paralysis behind the guise of being the easygoing friend, practicing avoidance. Society actively rewards the tireless worker, the charmer, and the chill friend. By praising the performance, it becomes nearly impossible for these individuals to realize they are dodging life to avoid exposure. Other masks are destructive. Take projection, the act of hurling accusations of betrayal at a partner. The accusation has little to do with their actions and everything to do with silencing our own fears of being unwanted. Then there is displacement, the misfiring of rage. A person might snap at their innocent children at the dinner table because they are too fragile to confront the boss who humiliated them. We validate these actions through rationalization. The mind invents noble, logical excuses for behaviors that are driven entirely by fear. These aggressive defense mechanisms ensure that innocent bystanders pay the price for our hidden pain. The outward show is convincing, but the internal insecurity is always pulling the strings. These behavioral examples map directly onto clinical psychological data that tracks how these defenses operate over time. This graph tracks defense breakdown versus healing. On the left, denial and projection operate at maximum intensity. As self-reflection progresses across the bottom axis, these defensive walls steadily break down, replaced by the sharp upward trajectory of self-awareness and vulnerability. Psychological transformation is impossible without this specific intersection. You cannot build genuine self-awareness without first allowing your defenses to collapse. That is the tragic irony of the masks we wear. They initially keep us functioning and safe when we are fragile, but eventually the sheer weight of the performance exhausts and imprisons us. Every defense mechanism is actually a secret confession. Our denial admits we are too fragile for the truth, and our displaced anger admits we cannot face our real enemies. The collapse of these defenses is inevitable. Under the unrelenting pressure of real life, relationships, and failures, the mask will always eventually crack. While that collapse is deeply uncomfortable, it is also the first moment of true clarity. It is the absolute prerequisite for escaping your invisible prison. This chart illustrates the journey that awaits once the armor is removed, starting from a baseline of fear. Climbing out requires deliberate stepping stones, taking risks, embracing vulnerability, and building trust. The ultimate reward is reaching authentic intimacy, finding true connection without any performance. You have a choice. You can continue to hide behind costumes of charm, anger, or perfectionism, or you can face your raw wounds directly in the mirror. Freedom is not found by reinforcing the walls of your prison. It is found by standing in the rubble of your collapsed defenses, and finally, bravely, allowing yourself to be seen.